Have you ever stopped to wonder, how does your brain, a simple organ made of soft tissue, hold the power to create entire worlds? How does it allow you to love, hate, dream, and even question your own existence? Scientists have spent centuries trying to decode the brain, yet it remains one of the biggest mysteries in the universe. Your brain can process 11 million bits of information per second, but your conscious mind can only handle 40. It can rewrite your memories, create realities that don't exist, and even trick you into seeing things that aren't there. This isn't science fiction. It's happening inside your head right now. Welcome to a journey where we uncover how the human brain defies science and breaks reality. Imagine this. You wake up from a deep sleep, and for a few seconds, you don't know where you are. Your mind scrambles to piece together reality. But what if that brief moment of confusion wasn't just sleepiness? What if your brain was actually creating reality on the spot? Yes, your perception of the world is not as fixed as you think. Scientists have discovered that the brain doesn't just receive information, it constructs it. Your reality is an illusion, built from electrical signals and chemical reactions inside your head. And here's where it gets even stranger. Your brain doesn't always follow the rules of science. Science is based on logic. It thrives on rules, formulas, and predictable outcomes. But your brain, it plays by its own rules. Think about it. Science tells us time is constant, but your brain can make a single second feel like an eternity. Science tells us memory is like a recording device, but your brain rewrites the past every time you recall it. Let's put it this way. The brain is not a computer. It doesn't just store and retrieve data. It's more like an artist, painting reality with broad strokes, filling in the gaps, and sometimes distorting the truth. And this leads us to an incredible paradox. If science can't fully explain the brain, then what else about reality are we misunderstanding? Pause for effect. This is where things start to get really interesting. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the greatest illusion of all, perception. What if I told you that nothing you see, hear, or feel is real? Stay with me, because this journey is just beginning. Imagine a machine so complex that even the most advanced scientists struggle to understand how it works. Now, what if I told you that machine is inside your head? Pause. For centuries, science has tried to define the brain as nothing more than a biological computer, a highly evolved organ designed to process information. But is that really all it is? Or are we missing something far bigger? Let's break it down. The brain consists of neurons, electrical signals, and chemical reactions. That's what textbooks say. It should be predictable, like any other machine. But here's the catch. The human brain doesn't always follow logical rules. It dreams, imagines, and creates. It can alter reality through perception alone. And sometimes it even defies its own programming. So why does science still struggle to explain human consciousness? The truth is, we don't know where consciousness comes from. We don't know why we feel emotions or how thoughts appear out of nowhere. Every time we think we're getting close to understanding it, the brain proves us wrong. Is it just neurons firing? Or is there something beyond the physical? Now let's talk about the illusion of free will. Are we really in control of our decisions? Or is it just an illusion? Science tells us that every choice we make is influenced by past experiences, genetics, and subconscious programming. Studies show that our brains make decisions before we're even aware of them. Think about that. Your brain might already know what you're going to do before you do. So, are we truly making choices, or are we just following a script written by our own biology? The deeper we dive into the brain's mysteries, the more we realize science doesn't have all the answers, and maybe it never will. One thing's for sure, the human brain is not just a machine, it's something far more powerful, something beyond science. Have you ever questioned whether the world you see is real? What if I told you that your brain is not showing you reality, but a carefully constructed illusion? Sounds impossible, right? But science proves that our perception is deeply flawed. Everything we experience, colors, sounds, textures, even time, is filtered through the brain. But here's the shocking part. Our perception is not an accurate reflection of the outside world. It's a best guess, a predictive model constantly being updated based on past experiences, emotions, and expectations. Think about it. Two people can witness the same event but recall it entirely differently. That's because perception is subjective. It's influenced by culture, language, and even our mood at that moment. Your brain doesn't passively record reality. It actively reconstructs it. And here's where things get really strange. The brain can distort reality so much that it makes you see things that aren't there, or fail to see things that are right in front of you. Ever been fooled by an optical illusion? That's your brain trying to make sense of conflicting information. It fills in gaps, assumes patterns, and even invents details that don't exist. Take the famous checker shadow illusion. Two squares appear to be different shades, but in reality, they're identical. Your brain considers context, light, and shadow, and then adjusts what you see to match its expectations. It's not reality. It's an illusion created by your mind, and it's not just vision. Our brain distorts sound, touch, and even time. The McGurk effect is a perfect example. If you see someone saying ba but hear fi, your brain will make you hear fa, even if the actual sound was different. That means we can't even trust our ears. Now let's go deeper. If our brain manipulates what we see, hear, and feel, can we ever truly know reality? Philosophers and scientists have debated this for centuries. Neuroscientists argue that we live in a controlled hallucination. The world as we know it exists only in our minds. Our senses are just data collectors. The brain interprets the raw information and presents a version of reality that works, not one that is necessarily true. Here's an unsettling thought. If your brain decided to change the rules of perception, you'd never know. Reality would simply shift, and you'd accept it as normal. So, what does this mean for us? It means we must question everything we perceive. It means our version of reality is just one of infinite possibilities. And most importantly, it means the world we think we know might not be real at all. Have you ever been absolutely sure about a memory only to find out later that it never actually happened? Your brain, as powerful as it is also a master of deception. Welcome to the world of false memories, where reality and imagination blend into one. Memory is often thought of as a recording device, capturing moments exactly as they happen. But in reality, our memories are not fixed. They are constantly being rewritten, edited, and sometimes completely fabricated. Studies show that simple suggestions can make people remember events that never occurred. In one experiment, participants were shown doctored photos of themselves in a hot air balloon as children. Even though they had never taken such a ride, many genuinely believed they had, vividly recalling details that were never real. Our brains don't store memories like a hard drive. Instead, they reconstruct past events every time we recall them. This means that each time you remember something, you're actually altering it, sometimes in small ways, sometimes in dramatic ones. What you believe to be a concrete memory might just be an elaborate story your brain has created over time. Have you ever argued with someone about an event, both of you completely convinced you're right? The reason is simple. Memories are highly subjective. Two people can witness the same event, but remember it entirely differently. For example, imagine a family dinner where an argument breaks out. One person may remember it as a tense and hostile moment, while another might recall it as just a lively discussion. Both individuals believe their version is accurate, but in reality neither might be completely correct. Their memories have been colored by their perspectives, and over time, those perspectives continue to shape the way they remember the event. One of the most fascinating memory phenomena is the Mandela effect, when large groups of people remember something in the same but incorrect way. It's named after Nelson Mandela because many people falsely remember him dying in prison in the 1980s, even though he was released and lived until 2013. Other famous examples of the Mandela effect include the Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstain Bears. Many people swear the beloved children's book series was spelled with an E instead of an A. Luke, I am your father. Most people believe Darth Vader said this in Star Wars, but the actual line is, no, I am your father. The Monopoly Man's missing monocle. Many remember him wearing a monocle, yet he never had one. Some believe these memory glitches are proof of parallel universes, while others argue that they are simply the result of how our brains process and store information. Regardless of the cause, the Mandela effect proves one thing: memory is far from reliable. Your memories define your identity, shape your personality, and influence your decisions. But as we've explored, they are also incredibly fragile and easily manipulated. Every time you recall a memory, it is reconstructed, sometimes shifting, in ways you'd never expect. So the next time you're absolutely certain about something that happened, pause for a moment and ask yourself, how much of it is real? And how much of it is a fabricated story your brain created? Have you ever had a moment where time felt like it slowed down? Or maybe you experienced déjà vu, as if you were reliving a moment from the past? What if I told you that the brain might not experience time the way we think it does? We like to think of time as a straight line, a sequence of past, present, and future events unfolding in order. But what if that's just an illusion created by our brains? According to physics, time is not necessarily linear. In fact, Einstein's theory of relativity suggests that past, present, and future all coexist. Our brains, however, have evolved to perceive time in a structured way. This is crucial for survival, helping us predict, plan, and make sense of our experiences. But deep inside our neural networks, time is not as rigid as it seems. Studies show that different parts of the brain interpret time differently. Some neurons process events in a strict chronological order, while others create loops, blending past memories with present experiences. Ever noticed how time seems to fly when you're having fun, but drags when you're bored? That's because our perception of time is flexible. The brain uses past experiences to estimate how time should feel. But this is highly subjective. In other words, time is not an absolute reality. It is something our brains construct. Déjà vu is one of the most mysterious experiences of the human mind. It feels like a glitch in reality, as if we've already lived a moment before. But why does it happen? One theory is that déjà vu occurs when the brain mistakenly processes new information as if it were a memory. Instead of experiencing something in real time, the brain may file it as a past event, creating a sense of familiarity. Another theory suggests that déjà vu could be linked to our brain's ability to predict the future. Some scientists believe the brain constantly runs simulations of possible future events based on past experiences. When reality aligns with one of these predictions, it creates a strange sensation, almost as if we've stepped into a moment we already foresaw. But could déjà vu be something even more extraordinary? Some researchers speculate that it could be a glimpse into parallel realities, a moment where our consciousness briefly aligns with an alternate version of ourselves. While there's no concrete evidence for this yet, it raises fascinating questions about how our brains perceive reality. Our brain doesn't just perceive time, it can bend and reshape it. Think about how time slows down during an accident or a moment of extreme fear. Many people report that when faced with danger, everything moves in slow motion. But what actually happens is that the brain goes into overdrive. taking in an overwhelming amount of detail. This makes the moment feel stretched, as if time itself has slowed. There's also the time dilation effect seen in meditation or altered states of consciousness. People who practice deep meditation often report losing track of time entirely. This happens because the brain shifts focus away from external clocks and into a deeply internal state. Scientists have also studied how time perception changes with age. As children, time seems to last forever. A single summer can feel like a lifetime. But as we grow older, time seems to speed up. This is because new experiences make time feel longer, while routine compresses it. The more predictable our lives become, the faster time seems to pass. So, what does all of this mean? Our brains don't just passively experience time, they actively shape it. Whether it's the illusion of a past, present, and future, the eerie experience of déjà vu, or the ability to stretch and shrink time itself, our perception of time is anything but fixed. In many ways, our brains are like time machines, bending reality to fit our understanding of the world. And if our brains have the power to manipulate time, what else might they be capable of? Can our brain create a completely fake world? Imagine waking up one day and realizing that everything you see, hear, and feel could be an illusion created by your brain. Sounds impossible, right? But the truth is, our brains have the extraordinary ability to fabricate entire realities, ones that feel just as real as the world we live in. From vivid dreams to waking hallucinations, the human mind can construct detailed, immersive experiences without any external input. In extreme cases, people suffering from schizophrenia or under the influence of psychedelic substances report seeing and hearing things that aren't there. These aren't just random distortions. They follow a pattern, often influenced by emotions, memories, and subconscious fears. So, can we ever be completely sure that what we perceive is real? Or are we all, to some extent, living inside a construct of our own minds? Hallucinations aren't just products of mental illness or drug use. In fact, they're surprisingly common and can happen to anyone under the right conditions. Sleep deprivation, extreme stress, sensory deprivation, or even grief can trigger hallucinations. Studies show that people in complete darkness for prolonged periods begin to see light flashes, geometric patterns, or even faces, despite no actual stimuli present. This happens because the brain is constantly trying to make sense of its environment, even when there's no information available. Neuroscientists believe that hallucinations occur when the brain's predictive system goes into overdrive. Instead of just processing external stimuli, the brain starts generating its own sensory data, filling in gaps with internally created images and sounds. This explains why hallucinations often feel so real. They come from the same part of the brain that processes real sensory input. But what about mystical visions or religious experiences? Throughout history, prophets, saints, and mystics have described encounters with divine figures, voices from beyond, and visions of otherworldly realms. Some scientists argue that these experiences may be a form of hallucination triggered by intense meditation, fasting, or deep emotional states. However, others believe they point to something beyond our understanding of reality. One of the most mysterious and debated forms of hallucination is the near-death experience, NDE. Thousands of people who have come close to dying report eerily similar experiences, traveling through a tunnel of light, seeing deceased loved ones, feeling an overwhelming sense of peace, or even viewing their own bodies from above. So, what causes these experiences? Scientists suggest that NDEs may be the result of a dying brain's last attempt to process information. As oxygen levels drop and brain activity slows, neurons may fire erratically, creating dreamlike sensations. Some research even suggests that certain chemicals, like DMT, a powerful psychedelic compound, might be released by the brain at the moment of death, leading to these otherworldly visions. but not everyone is convinced by the scientific explanation. Some NDE survivors return with knowledge or experiences that seem impossible to explain, such as recalling details from operating rooms they couldn't have physically seen. Could it be that the brain, in its final moments, unlocks hidden abilities we don't yet understand, or are NDEs evidence of a deeper reality beyond life itself? Hallucinations, visions, and near-death experiences reveal the immense power of the human brain. They show that our perception of reality isn't as solid as we think. It's fluid, shaped by our biology, emotions, and even cultural beliefs. But the biggest question remains: if our brain can fabricate an entire world, how do we know what's real and what's not? Perhaps in some ways, reality itself is just another illusion created by the mind. And if that's true, what else might our brains be capable of? That's a question we'll explore in the next chapter. Imagine being given a simple sugar pill and told it's a powerful drug. Days later, your symptoms disappear. Yet the pill had no active ingredients. How is this possible? Welcome to the incredible world of the placebo effect, where belief alone can heal the body, defying everything we think we know about medicine and science. The placebo effect is not just a strange medical anomaly. It's a testament to the power of the human mind. Studies have shown that people suffering from chronic pain, depression, and even Parkinson's disease have experienced real improvement simply by believing they were receiving effective treatment. Their brains responded as if they had taken actual medication, triggering real biological changes in the body. Take the case of a man diagnosed with terminal cancer. Doctors gave him an experimental drug, and within weeks, his tumors shrank dramatically. However, when he later learned the drug was ineffective, his cancer returned, and he passed away soon after. His mind had healed his body until doubt took over. Another example is patients who undergo fake surgeries but still experience full recovery, as if an actual procedure had taken place. Their belief alone triggered healing mechanisms within their bodies. For decades, medical professionals have struggled to understand the placebo effect. How can a simple belief produce results that rival real medications? The brain, it seems, can generate its own healing chemicals, endorphins, dopamine, and even immune-boosting responses just by expecting to get better. This challenges the way we view medicine and raises a question. If the mind is this powerful, how much of modern medicine relies on the treatment itself, and how much depends on the patient's belief in it? The placebo effect is proof that the human brain is far more powerful than we ever imagined. It can heal, create illusions, and even defy science. But if belief can heal, could it also harm? Could negative expectations make us sick? That's what we'll explore next. Have you ever had a gut feeling about something, only to find out later that you were absolutely right? Maybe you sensed danger before anything happened, or you just knew you were about to get a call from someone you hadn't spoken to in years. What if intuition isn't just a lucky guess, but a real measurable phenomenon that science has yet to fully understand? We live in a world that worships logic, reason, and data, but what if I told you that your intuition, your gut feeling, can often be more accurate than rational thinking? Studies have shown that our subconscious mind processes vast amounts of information faster than we can consciously register. This means that when you have a feeling about something, it's not coming from nowhere. Your brain has already analyzed patterns, read micro-expressions, and connected dots that your conscious mind hasn't even noticed yet. In high-stakes professions like firefighting or surgery, experts often make split-second decisions based purely on instinct, and these decisions save lives. They can't always explain why they acted the way they did, but their intuition told them what to do. And more often than not, they're right. So, is intuition just fast thinking, or is there something deeper at play? Scientists have long been fascinated by intuition, trying to figure out if it's just pattern recognition or something beyond. Explanation. Some research suggests that intuition is linked to the brain's ability to pick up on subtle cues like body language, tone of voice, or environmental shifts before we're consciously aware of them. Neuroscientists believe that the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, a part of the brain involved in decision-making and emotions, plays a key role in intuition. This region helps process complex information quickly and often leads to gut feelings. But here's where things get even stranger. Some experiments have suggested that our intuition might even detect future events before they happen. In studies where participants were shown a mix of calming and disturbing images in random order, researchers found that their physiological responses, like heart rate and skin conductance, often spiked seconds before seeing a disturbing image. It was as if their brains were sensing what was coming next. Could it be that intuition allows us to tap into a hidden layer of reality, one where time and space don't work the way we think? Think about those moments when you just knew something was going to happen, even though logic said otherwise. Skeptics would call it coincidence. But what if intuition actually bends probability in ways we don't understand? Many people have reported experiences where they avoided accidents, made perfect investments, or met the right person at just the right time, all based on a feeling. Could this be mere chance, or is there something else influencing reality? Some physicists argue that intuition could be linked to quantum mechanics. The observer effect in quantum physics suggests that our consciousness might interact with reality in ways we don't yet comprehend. If thoughts can influence quantum particles, could intuition be a form of quantum perception? Perhaps intuition isn't just about predicting outcomes, it's about shaping them. So, should we rely on intuition more than logic? Maybe the real power lies in the balance. Logic gives us structure, but intuition gives us insight, a glimpse beyond what the eyes can see. If history has taught us anything, it's that science often struggles to explain things that don't fit into a neat formula. Intuition might just be one of those mysteries, a sixth sense that connects us to a reality far beyond what we understand. What if I told you that 95% of your actions, thoughts, and decisions aren't truly yours? That behind every move you make, there's an unseen force controlling you, your subconscious mind. This silent operator governs your habits, beliefs, and even your destiny, all without you realizing it. Most of us believe we are in full control of our lives. We wake up, make choices, and think we're consciously steering our path. But science tells a different story. Research shows that nearly 95% of our behaviors stem from subconscious programming. That means your daily routine, your reactions, even your fears, they're all deeply rooted in the patterns your mind absorbed long ago. Imagine trying to change your life by sheer willpower, yet feeling stuck in the same habits. That's because your subconscious operates like pre-installed software running on autopilot. Until you reprogram it, you'll continue to get the same results, no matter how hard you try to change consciously. Every belief you hold, whether about success, love, money, or self-worth, was embedded into your subconscious from a young age. As a child, your brain was like a sponge, soaking up everything around you. If you were told that money is hard to earn, relationships are painful, or that you're not smart enough, these beliefs settled deep within you, shaping your reality. And here's the shocking part. Your subconscious doesn't question these beliefs. It simply follows them, creating a reality that aligns with your internal programming. If you believe you're unlucky, your mind will unknowingly guide you toward situations that prove you right. If you think success is out of reach, you'll subconsciously sabotage opportunities without realizing why. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's imagined. This is why elite athletes visualize victory. Before a competition, Their minds can't tell the difference between mental practice and real performance. The same principle applies to your life. Change your inner programming, and you'll change your outer world. The good news? Your subconscious mind can be reprogrammed. You're not stuck with the mental patterns you inherited. By using specific techniques, you can rewrite the code of your mind and break free from limiting beliefs. Affirmations. Repeating positive statements consistently rewires the subconscious over time. Saying, "I am confident and successful," repeatedly plants new seeds of belief. Visualization. The brain reacts to mental imagery as if it's real. Seeing yourself achieving your goals can reshape your subconscious expectations. Hypnosis and meditation. These methods bypass the conscious mind and allow direct access to the subconscious, making deep-rooted changes possible. Repetition and emotion. The subconscious learns through repeated experiences, especially those tied to strong emotions. If you want a new belief to stick, tie it to a powerful feeling of excitement, joy, or certainty. Your subconscious mind is the real master of your life, silently dictating your choices and shaping your future. But here's the ultimate truth. You have the power to take control. By understanding and reprogramming your subconscious, you can break free from self-imposed limitations and create the reality you truly desire. So the question is, are you ready to rewire your mind and unlock your full potential? Imagine waking up one day to find out that everything you knew about reality was just an illusion, a sophisticated program running inside your brain. What if our world isn't as real as we think? What if consciousness itself is shaping the universe? Some of the world's greatest minds, including Elon Musk and leading physicists, believe that reality might just be an incredibly advanced simulation. The idea? Our entire existence, from the stars in the sky to the thoughts in our heads, could be part of a vast coded system. The argument is simple. If we, as humans, can create virtual worlds with advanced AI, what stops a higher intelligence from doing the same to us? And here's the mind-bending part. There may be evidence. Strange glitches in reality, unexplained. Synchronicities, and the mathematical precision of the universe all hint at the possibility that we're living inside an artificial construct. If this is true, then our brain isn't just interpreting reality, it might be generating it. But let's take this further. Modern quantum mechanics has uncovered some shocking truths about reality. In the famous double-slit experiment, scientists found that tiny particles behave differently when they are being observed. Yes, you heard that right. The mere act of conscious observation changes the outcome of a physical event. This raises a chilling question. Does consciousness create reality? If observation alone can alter the physical world, could our thoughts and awareness be shaping everything around us? Some physicists believe this is possible, suggesting that the universe exists in an undefined state until we observe it, at which point it takes shape according to our perception. This leads us to an even more profound question. Can the brain create alternate realities through sheer thought? There are countless stories of individuals who have manifested success, health, or even events in their lives simply by focusing their thoughts on them. This concept, often linked to the law of attraction, suggests that what we think, we create. Scientific studies have already proven that our thoughts can influence our body. The placebo effect, which we discussed earlier, shows that belief alone can heal us. But could this effect extend beyond the body and into the fabric of reality itself? Some researchers believe that our thoughts, combined with emotion and belief, might have the power to shape external circumstances, bending reality to our will. So, what does all this mean? Are we living in a simulation? Do our thoughts shape the world around us? And if reality itself is subjective, then what is truly real? The deeper we dive into the mysteries of the brain and consciousness, the more we realize that science has only scratch the surface of the truth. One thing is certain. The human brain defies logic, science, and everything we thought we knew. The question remains, are we dreaming reality, or is reality dreaming us? Stay with us as we uncover more mind-blowing secrets of the brain in the next chapter. Have you ever wondered if there's more to reality than what we see? What if our brain has the power to access dimensions beyond our comprehension? Psychedelics have fascinated humans for centuries, offering glimpses into a world that seems to defy logic. But are these experiences real or just illusions created by our mind? Let's explore the science behind psychedelics and their impact on the brain. Dimethyltryptamine, or DMT, is often called the spirit molecule. Found naturally in plants and even produced in small amounts by our own brain, this powerful psychedelic can induce experiences that feel more real than waking life itself. People who take DMT often report traveling to other dimensions, meeting strange entities, and gaining profound insights about existence. Scientists believe that DMT works by disrupting the brain's default mode network, the system responsible for organizing our perception of reality. When this network is temporarily shut down, the mind enters an unrestricted state, allowing experiences that defy normal understanding. But are these visions just a byproduct of brain chemistry, or could they be glimpses into something beyond? People who use psychedelics like LSD, psilocybin mushrooms, and ayahuasca often describe their experiences as mind-expanding. They report seeing intricate geometric patterns, feeling an overwhelming sense of unity with the universe, and encountering beings that seem more intelligent than humans. Some even claim to relive past lives or access knowledge they couldn't possibly have known before. What's even more astonishing is the consistency of these experiences across different cultures and individuals. How is it that people who have never met from opposite sides of the world describe nearly identical visions? Some scientists argue that psychedelics simply activate parts of the brain that generate hallucinations, but others suggest a deeper, more mysterious possibility that these substances temporarily remove the brain's filter on reality, revealing hidden aspects of existence that we normally can't perceive. This is the ultimate question. If psychedelics simply create random illusions, why do so many users come away with life-changing insights? Why do they describe their experiences as feeling more real than waking life? One possibility is that the brain constructs reality based on limited sensory input. Psychedelics might disrupt this process, allowing access to new layers of perception that are always there, but usually hidden. Another theory suggests that these substances allow the brain to tap into a collective consciousness, a shared mental space where all minds are connected. Scientific studies have shown that psychedelics can reduce activity in the brain's default mode network, leading to ego dissolution, the feeling of losing one's sense of self. This experience often results in profound realizations, emotional healing, and a new perspective on life. Many users report feeling less afraid of death, more connected to nature, and more compassionate toward others. But does this mean the experiences are real, or just beautiful illusions created by a chemically altered brain? The truth is, science still doesn't have a definitive answer. What we do know is that these substances challenge our understanding of consciousness, perception, and reality itself. Psychedelics remain one of the most intriguing mysteries of the human brain. Whether they reveal hidden dimensions or simply trick our minds into seeing things that aren't there, one thing is certain: they have the power to reshape our understanding of existence. Perhaps the real question isn't whether these experiences are real or not, but rather how they change the way we see the world.